Welcome to this edition of ACAP Today for Thursday, the 7th of May, 2020. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. Thank you so much for being with us today. On the program today, we're going to talk with another one of our board members, Paula Sperrey, who works for Emera Maine. And she's going to tell us about some of the changes that the electric utility company that serves most of northern and eastern Maine is going through at this time. So we're anxious to hear about that because I know that it impacts the lives of many of our viewers, as well as we'll also be continuing the conversation with Hope Ladd, who's one of ACAP's family coaches, who's doing some phenomenal work with families and individuals at a distance right now and maintaining some great contact with families and helping them through this pandemic. She's going to talk with us about the Arrearage Management Program, which is a partnership that we have with Emera Maine, and all about the work that she's about to engage in that program. But before we visit with those folks, we're going to share with you some news and information that you can use today, as we always do. Here are some of the things that we're focusing on in our commitment to Community Week, a commitment to our Community Week as we're calling it here on ACAP Today. First, we want to just remind you that we have made the decision based upon the governor's recommendation to have all of our offices closed to the public through at least the 31st of May. But do remember that almost all of our services are continuing remotely, and we even plan on getting our weatherization program up and running in the next couple of weeks as well, with the appropriate social distancing and safety protocols in mind, of course. But we are here for you, so just because our offices are closed to the public, we are very much still working. Those of us who are working from the offices or at home are very much here for you. And if you are interested in our services and would like, it may be intimidating to give us a call, and we certainly don't want to have any barrier between you and us at this time, other than the physical barriers we have to maintain. If you'd like to request assistance online, please do go to our main page, and as it notes on the screen here, there's a request assistance online section that links directly into our database. And by the questions that you answer and the fields that you complete on this database, we will be able to, once we call you, be able to talk to you about what programs you may be eligible for and connect you with the right individuals for those programs. So please do consider using this form if you prefer to connect with us electronically at first. We are also serving the community in many ways. We're extremely proud of the work of our staff and volunteers, including our board members who we've been featuring this week. But here's some of the community impact numbers that we wanted to share with you. We've helped over 100 households who have, through the Home Energy Assistance Program, who have been impacted directly economically by COVID-19 since the pandemic started. We have 30 new families who are receiving WIC benefits since the pandemic started, above and beyond what we had prior to that. We've received, actually just an update on this, 324 applications for the COVID-19 Rental Assistance Program, which provides the one-time $500 payment to landlords for individuals, again, economically impacted by COVID-19. Always impressed by the number of meals that our Head Start cooks and bus monitors and their assistants are helping deliver. 793 meals delivered to families daily, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks across Aroostook County. 13 individuals altogether have utilized the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter at the University of Maine at Presque Isle, and 19 young adults have attended virtual family literacy classes and other classes that we have going. There are other numbers. Altogether, all told, over 600 individuals who were not previously turning to ACAP for support have done so since the pandemic first began in about mid-March. So we are pleased, and we can certainly help additional folks in the community if you would like our support. And we would be very, very happy to do that for you. I mentioned the Home Energy Assistance Program. All told, we have helped over 5,000 households apply for HEAP this season. In the last month, again, over 100 applicants have been processed through COVID-19. What's most important to note about the HEAP program is that it continues through the 15th of July. And before we instituted new COVID-19 income eligibility guidelines, there were expanded income eligibility guidelines in the current season. So if you have not applied for HEAP for a few years, or even never maybe have applied for HEAP, we certainly encourage you to go to our website, look at the income eligibility guidelines. They've changed and they're far more lenient in terms of who may qualify for HEAP. And now is the perfect time to apply for HEAP. Between now and when this season closes out on July 15th is the perfect time. Come fall, we have most of our appointments are booked, and it's very difficult to get folks in because we're serving elderly and and families with very young children who are at risk of hypothermia. So please do call us. This program is here for you. You will not be taking money away from someone else by applying for this program. If you are eligible and qualified, we want to provide you with this assistance. And best part is the benefit does stay on your fuel vendor account for up to 18 months. So apply now, and those funds will be there when you want to turn the thermostat up in the fall or this weekend when we're supposed to be getting snow. I want to also point out that our home buyer program, I went a little bit too fast on that one, our virtual home buyer program has been so popular that we've actually closed out the first course that's going to be held on the 23rd of May. We had 25 individuals apply to get a seat in that class, a virtual seat, because we are coming to you via Zoom for that class for the first time. And I just wanted to note that we are taking names now for the next class registration. Greg Doak, our home buyer education instructor, will be taking names to start a class hopefully in June. So please do still contact him so we can get the names on the list. We also are taking applications right now for summer, a special summer program for Head Start, as well as fall Head Start for early Head Start, and even childcare families as well. So please do give us a call if you would like to learn more about the program or consider getting your preschool age child in one of our wonderful programs in early care and education. And the Wellness Shelter for Individuals Experiencing Homelessness, which one of our guests, Hope Ladd, works at. She's one of our weekend team members there. They are doing phenomenal work. Not only are they providing a safe and warm roof for folks to sleep under at night, but they're providing phenomenal services. They have already rehoused 3 of the individuals at the center, including yesterday, celebrating with a veteran who had turned to us and had been using the shelter, who got his apartment yesterday and signed the paperwork for his apartment. We're extremely proud of the work of our staff in the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Center. And we've had other staff career counselors working with residents of the shelter on resumes and interviewing tips, and even signed 2 of the residents up for adult education courses that are being held via Zoom. So great work happening there thanks to our partnership with Maine Housing and other community entities. And the rent relief program, again, 324 applications have been received and processed here in Aroostook County. We certainly encourage, if you're having difficulty because of financial circumstances around COVID-19, to please apply for the rental assistance program for the month of May. It's a one-time payment. You're eligible to receive it once. And the payment actually doesn't go to the renter, but rather to the landlord. But we also work with the folks who are applying for the program to help connect them with other programs. So it's certainly worth a call, 764-3721, or mainhousing.org/COVID-rent. You can complete the application right online, and those that are applying from Aroostook County will be sent to us, and we will follow up and speak with you and help you process that application further and get the payment out to your landlord. And finally, in our News You Can Use segment today, we are encouraging through our wellness and prevention programs, along with Northern Light AR Gould Hospital, for folks to get out and get moving in the community. We know that it's difficult at these times of social isolation to certainly do team sports or participate in recreational classes and other organized physical activity. But as the weather hopefully continues to get better, you can go for a walk, a run, bike on your own or with your family. And a friend, and if you do, please do try to maintain that 6 feet distancing standard. But we are also through the month of May, as an incentive, offering you the opportunity to send us a photo of your family or yourself participating in physical activity. You can send it to Don Roberts at northernlight.org, or you can send it to us here at ACAP and we'll make sure Don gets it. Folks who send photos in will be put in a random drawing for a basket of goodies that will be drawn every Friday throughout the month of May. So another little incentive there for you to get physically active during this time as the weather gets better and we all want to get outdoors. So with that, that's the news and information you can use for today. I'm pleased now to welcome to the program the board treasurer for the Aroostook County Action Program, a woman with a very kind heart and a gracious and giving spirit. Paula Sperrey, it's so nice to see you. I'm anxious to see you in person again, but I guess this is the next best thing.
Yes, it is. It's great to see you, Jason. Thank you so much for having me on today. I appreciate being here and seeing you on the video.
Thank you. We appreciate all you're doing both with Emera and to help us as an organization get through these challenging times with your support. And we certainly feel it. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I can go over, if you'd like, some of the changes Emera Maine has made during this time of the pandemic, the way that we're
Absolutely.
dealing with customer accounts differently.
Sure. I just want to note that we'll have Hope Ladd. I just want to say hello to her real quickly, that she's going to be joining us again in a minute. Hope, welcome to the program as well. We'll be talking with you in just a minute, but I just wanted to say hello.
Thank you, Jason.
And
Thank you.
again, so yes, Paula, so let's talk about that, because my goodness, everyone has sort of, life has changed for everyone, and that's certainly true of CAP agencies and electric utilities and mom and pop shops and the like. So let's talk about how Emera has risen to the challenge.
Yes, we will. Thank you. Thankfully, the Maine Public Utilities Commission, which regulates our electric utility business, they issued some guidelines in mid-March, which have greatly helped us to then in turn make sure that we're helping our customers the best way that we can during these difficult times. And so what the guidelines basically said was that no disconnection notices or late fees would be issued or assessed during the time of this pandemic period. And so we're not doing any type of field, credit and collections activity. We're not issuing disconnection notices. If a customer's behind on their electric bill, we really encourage you to call us during this time and talk to us. Let us know what's going on. We could possibly do a payment arrangement with you. When things improve financially, we could call us back and even renegotiate that arrangement if you needed to, if it wasn't working out. So we've really been able to just halt those disconnect notices, not assess late fees, and just give our customers time to get through this difficult period.
Certainly. So there's the customer angle of it, and how Emera has done some great things in partnership with Maine Public Utilities Commission and the other electric utilities in the state in relation to the engagement with customers. But it's also been a shift in work for your staff. Your staff is working very differently than they were working in early March.
Yes, it was an amazing and very fast transition. We started on March 16th to test 5 people going home and working from home to do customer contact center calls just as if they were at the office. By March 23rd, we had over 50 of all of our customer service staff fully working from home, up and running. And thanks to our IT department for deploying everything so quickly. We deployed a laptop to each customer representative's home, a headset, monitors, everything that they needed. So it was an amazing and quick effort.
I know we chatted earlier before we started recording about how you miss your team members and the team that you are regularly working with. You're a close bunch, and your customer service group. So certainly people skills run high with your team. And I know that we miss our team members who are working from home at this time as well, and are anxious to get them back with us when it's safe to do so. But how is your team faring through these times?
Yes, very well. We are able to have WebEx meetings each week with the team. Sometimes we break it into different groups, and we've also had meetings, with everyone at the same time through WebEx, which is similar to Zoom. And people are doing very well. They're adjusting to, the ergonomic differences at working from home. Also adjusting to sometimes needing to take care of family members that are also home. But overall, I have to say that they have risen to the challenge and they're doing very well.
Now, I know that you are governed by many of the same standards that we are as it relates to customer confidentiality and things like that. But in general terms, from what you're hearing from your staff of 50 customer service representatives out there, what are folks saying to them? What are folks sharing to them? Are folks calling with concerns, or what's your team in general hearing out there?
Yes, we have had a number of calls in relation to COVID-19. We've heard from some of our customers that they are having some financial difficulty. Certainly, some people have been laid off from employment. Some are still working during this time, but maybe hours have been reduced. And so anytime we hear that from a customer that financial difficulty is happening related to COVID-19, we're making sure that we work with them, even more closely, and to encourage them to call back again after things are back to normal for them, and we can work something out then as well.
Is that something that you're encouraging folks to do if they are experiencing a hardship and think that they may have a challenge? Is it better for them to proactively reach out to Emera and say, this is what's happening, I want you to be aware, than to, just be silent about it and maybe fall behind and things happen? Is it better for your team to know?
Yes, definitely better. I'm glad that you asked that question, because that would be a very important thing for them to do. If they could take the time to just give us a quick call, it doesn't take long, but let us know what you're experiencing. And that way we can, note the person's account that that's what's been going on. And we'll be able to work even more with you, once things have improved.
So I want to pivot just a minute to Hope, because we want to talk about one of the programs that existed prior to COVID-19, but that may be helpful on the other side of COVID-19, and hopefully we can help manage folks through this period of time. But it's called the Arrearage Management Program. And Hope, you've had experience in referring folks to this program, so and your role is changing with it, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But can you help explain to folks what the Arrearage Management, or what's called the AMP program, is?
Yeah, so the AMP program is a debt forgiveness program. It is for people who owe over $500 on their electric bill. They do have to be eligible for HEAP, and if they do that, they could be eligible. So basically, they would pay their normal monthly electric bill each month, and as they made their payment on time, they would each month be forgiven some of their debt. It's really a great opportunity when people get behind, and like right now with the COVID-19 and people being out of work, because they could go on this program and have their debt forgiven and just make their normal payments.
That's wonderful. And I know that one of the components that we are adding to that, and the work that you will be taking on here in the coming weeks and months, initially obviously at a distance, is related to the AMP program and what happens and how folks who are in the Arrearage Management Program are going to be assisted moving forward. So talk a little bit about that and the work that you're getting ready to sort of gear up.
So in partnership with Emera, we have the opportunity to reach out to AMP applicants to offer them supportive services for financial literacy, give them tools for budgeting, and work with them to come up with a plan basically for how they're going to pay their electric bill each month so that they can be successful in the program.
You have experience, I just wanted to know, you have experience working with individuals and families and households in this particular regard. You've been leading a program for ACAP over the last couple of years that gets individuals into places of their own, into homes of their own or rental units of their own. So talk about your experience working with families in helping them better understand their household budget, better understanding the expenses and how you manage, even on a tight budget, how you can manage.
Yeah, so part of it is looking at their electric consumption and finding ways to try to reduce their electric consumption so their bill each month isn't as big as it is. So teaching skills of how to save energy basically in their home. Another part of it is just prioritizing their bills and looking at what bills they might have, trying to find ways to maybe if they can increase their income, find ways to increase in their income. If they can cut down on some bills, do that, or find other supportive programs that might be able to help them so they're not as stretched on their money. That has to do with a lot of it. With my renting program, I would find people who are rent burdened, meaning that they're paying more income most of their money was going towards rent and utilities. And that makes it really difficult to pay for food and other things. And it's a struggle. So sometimes people are in that situation. If there's a way that I can help them find a better housing situation, then that, and they want to do that, that's what I'll help them do.
I know you've had some great success stories there, and I have no doubt with your persistence and your good work with some of our families that will be entering the arrearage management program or are in it currently and will be receiving your assistance soon, that they'll be better off for you having been in their lives. So thank you, Hope.
Well, I appreciate that.
Is there anything about the AMP program that you wanted to share with us that we haven't gotten to today?
I don't think so. I'm just excited about the opportunity to be working alongside people if they choose to have that extra support, and just to have someone there. I'll call them every month too, to see how they're doing and if they're able to make that payment each month. I know that I guess part of it too is if they can't make the payment, they could end up not being in the program if they don't make a payment. So it's so important that they stay consistent with it, and that's why I would be there calling them every month.
Helping them bring that cost down to make it affordable and attainable for them. So again, the concept of the program, and I just want to get Paula Sperrey's thoughts about that, because I know the folks at Emera Maine were excited to partner with the CAP agencies a few years ago when we initiated this project, and our role was merely to provide application support. But as we transition into this new role, Paula, and your role as a board director here at ACAP, knowing that a lot of our work over the last few years has really been focused on connecting programs and services for individuals, are you excited about this next step in AMP? Are you amped about AMP, I guess?
I am very amped about AMP. I can still remember we first hearing about this program a couple of years ago, as you said, and you and I were testing the waters, trying to figure out how we would operate the program, you know, in connection with ACAP and with Emera Maine. And so to have this program with Hope and her working directly with customers, I'm amazed by it. And I think it's going to really take off and also open the door to even more clients, you know, to take advantage of it.
Great. Anything that we haven't talked about as it relates to Emera, or how you're faring through these most unusual times that you wanted to share with folks?
Yes, just to reiterate your point, to please have customers give us a call if you're struggling financially during the pandemic time or any time, and talk to us about your account. I am sure there are suggestions that our customer service representatives can make to help you get through this time.
Great. And lastly, before we leave from both of you, and I'll start with you, Paula, advice for folks out there in the community who are watching this to help them get through, as I pointed out, these unprecedented, unusual times.
Yes. My advice, and I'm taking my own advice one afternoon per week. My daughters and I are taking just 2 or 3 hours one afternoon per week to get out and do a hike outside. So I encourage everyone to try to do that with your family members, or if you're going with a friend, as Jason said, just keep that 6-foot social distance. But there are some beautiful trails in our area and hiking trails that you can take advantage of. And it looks like this afternoon is going to be a good day for that.
Yes, and it looks like by Sunday we may be able to snowshoe again.
I know, that's right.
Thank you, Paula Sperrey, and Hope Ladd, your advice for folks out there. You work with a lot of families. Maybe they've provided you with some advice that you want to share with others, or what's your advice?
Well, my advice is similar to Paula's, which is just find creative ways to connect with people. So that could mean going for a walk with someone that you normally don't get to see, and keeping the distancing or wearing a mask. That helps so much, or just finding creative ways using technology to connect with family members and friends.
Great. sound advice from the both of you. I can't thank you both enough for talking about both the wonderful ways which Emera is innovating and helping individuals get through challenging times, especially on the economic side, and giving us hope about the future in terms of a wonderful addition to an existing program that I think will give others hope. So you certainly lived up to your first name today, Hope. Thank you.
It's true.
And with that, before we leave you, I want to, as our two wonderful guests have shared with us, to remember that we are indeed all in this together, and though we must maintain that 6 feet social distancing and follow along with the proper protocols, we do encourage you to reach out to us. We are in this together. Call us, connect with us via email, check us out on Facebook. We provide a lot of updates there. We also have our own YouTube channel where some of our early care and education professionals are doing great things on there, leading activities, reading story time. Our prevention folks are also doing some great work there. And we are also available, of course, on our website at acap-me.org, where you can fill in that form so that we can better help you when we reach out to you. And then also another great resource that we partnered with Aroostook Help Network on, aroostookcommunity.com. It's the place to go to ask for help or to give help. And we try to make those matches happen. If for whatever reason going online is not your thing, or you prefer not to, or cannot for whatever reason, call us at 764-3721. We have some wonderful folks that are standing by that can certainly try to connect you with whatever service or help that you may be looking for, and at the very least be able to enter your query for you online so that others can respond and we can get back to you with that information. And finally, we end, as we always do here on ACAP Today, with our snapshot of the day. I'm calling this one Cassie's Cascading Collection. This is Cassie Karen, so she continues my love for alliteration by having 2 C's at the start of her name. This is Cassie, who reminds us that the sun may be shining today, but even in the forecast for Sunday or for Saturday night into Sunday is some snow. So we still do get some colder temperatures this time of year, but also think ahead to the fall. If you have not applied for the Home Energy Assistance Program, and she's dealing with quite a bit of mail, so we're still processing a number of applications, but we have openings this month available for folks. Please do consider calling us for that. As I noted earlier, the benefit, if you are eligible, will stay on your account for up to 18 months. So it will certainly be there in the fall when we turn the thermostat up. So thank you on behalf of Cassie, our heat team. Thank you on behalf of Paula and Hope for joining us today and for learning more about hopefully ACAP and some of the services and community partners that we work with like Emera each and every day. On behalf of our 160 plus family members across Aroostook County Strong, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast today. We'll see you again tomorrow, where it's Family Focus Friday on ACAP Today, and we'll be speaking with several of our ACAP board members who are representatives on our Parent Policy Council about how they're faring through this time and advice for your family on moving forward through COVID-19, and hear about some of the very innovative ways our early care and education programs are still serving folks, albeit at a distance. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.